So I saw this post the other day that was talking about how we refer to like big machines and big vehicles or machines and vehicles in general. And when we're talking about them, we refer to them as a she. And I've heard this all my life. People naming their cars, people referring to like big machines, big vehicles as a her. Crank her up. Um, I was just thinking today as I was on the bus, like a city bus is a big vehicle. And I have a real admiration for like really big vehicles like airplanes, the big ships that, go to the port that has all of our like goods on it. Um, and I was just thinking how these big machines, these big vehicles and machines just in general have an inherent power, but it's a power that if it's not, what's the word am I looking for? If there's no one to wield the power and make it do what it's meant to do, make it do what it does, then that power is just sitting there untapped. And it made me think about, femininity versus masculinity and patriarchy and all of, the things that are kind of based on gender, or so this society likes to do, is base those things on gender. So I'm just thinking, like, what if women or femininity is where the real power lies for society, for community, for governance of people. And so we have to work together. Femininity and masculinity has to work together in order to bring things to manifestation in the best way possible. What if what if womanhood has the power that we're really looking for to exist peacefully in our societies? What if the patriarchy doesn't have all the power? They just think they do. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in now. Because all of the men are in control. And men these days do not tap into that intuition. We all have it. Yes, women's intuition is a little bit stronger, but that's just the way we're made. But everybody has intuition. For ages, men have not been taught, raised, or encouraged to tap into that intuition. And not to say that men shouldn't be in control and only women should be in control. I'm not saying that at all. It takes the right person. And I believe that, and these are just my thoughts, I believe that if men were to be encouraged to tap into their intuition, which would be their feminine energy, which is inside of them, there's nothing that's feminine in the way that we have been conditioned to think. There's nothing feminine about it, but it is the feminine energy that everybody has within them, which is to use intuition in addition to logic. You have to use both of them. And so it just made me think that Yes, we would be a whole lot better off if we were to relearn what it means to be feminine, relearn what femininity and feminine energy actually is. And if everybody could tap into that femininity, that feminine energy when it's necessary, and then bring the masculinity in with that, bring the logic in with that to manifest the peace and the unity that we need, and that a lot of us are starting to realize that we want it. We don't want whatever this is. We want the peace. We want the community. We want the unity. That's what we want. But unity among us as human beings, it has to start within. If we're not unified within ourselves, then we can't be unified as a community. And so we have to recognize the power that femininity brings to our existence as humanity. You have to recognize the way that masculinity and femininity comes together to create harmony. Honestly, at the end of the day, is unity is harmonious. And so we have to bring the feminine back. We have to bring the femininity back. And I know for much of humanity, much of our people on this earth, we no longer know what that looks like. A lot of us no longer knows what that looked like. And even some of our women, we don't know what that looked like because we've all been conditioned for so long to conform to patriarchy, conform to hyper independence, conform to hyper logic. You have to bring the power of the feminine back. It has nothing to do with saying that men aren't powerful. Men are powerful in the best way when they tap into their feminine energy, allow their feminine energy, which once again has nothing to do with being feminine or being like a woman, has nothing to do with that. Once they tap into that femininity within their existence inside of them, and combine that with all of the logical, cold, hard facts, point of views, and perspectives, that is when we truly come into unity. That is truly power. Because what's going on right now is not power, it's manipulation. Emotional manipulation, energetic manipulation. It's all manipulative to get into a position of what they believe power is. So those are just my thoughts. It's just my theory, my point of view. I don't know if many people really think like that, but I tend to see things from really weird point of views, and I think that if a lot of people thought about things a little bit differently, things will manifest a little bit differently or a lot differently. But I just wanted to share that um, point of view. Maybe it, sparks some new thoughts, some unique thoughts in you if you're watching. And thank you for watching.